gonna quickly get my coffee, so I'll leave you alone for just 1 minute. Hey Rizzo, good to see you. Hey Duo as well. Sam is still in London today. He's practicing for a wedding band rehearsal. Or rather, not practicing for the rehearsal. He's rehearsing as... He's just gone to a wedding band rehearsal. You know, he's playing in someone's wedding. He's rehearsing for it. Is that desynced audio I hear? It is a little bit. I'm going to have to restart the clean feed once we get out of the action. Just very, very quickly. Just because the audio is a little bit desynced. I'm going to make sure that is making sure that's really on point there. Sometimes this happens when we record different places. That should be now fine. Just doing that to make sure that the audio is as on point as it can be. And I kept missing the crash down. Good damage from leave onto fish one. What's happening with these early game jungle paths? Bots top on both sides. So they won't be interacting with bot lane that much. Have I recovered from last night's BLG IG masterpiece? My voice is still a little raw. Not gonna lie, that last team fight left my voice a little raw, folks. Is the sound only delayed for me, or is that normal here? No, that is just a clean feed thing. Sometimes the sound can get desynced because we use an SRT feed to get the feed directly from China. And if it gets desynced, I have to restart the feed. String goes black for a second or two, and we get our audio back. So that's how we fix it out there. Hey, TSC, let's see. Double arrow from leave there. See the Varus taking decent control over the lane. Headbutt away from Ovo. You know what? Ended up being quite okay on his debut. Now, I know that LNG are 1 and 6. They did start their first round robin. 0 and 5. Wait, just admit you're knocked in IRL? Darkness. I always wanted to be, you know, Terry Pratchett's Death, who speaks in all capitals, but is trying to be human-ish. His employers have advised him to be more personable. By the way, if no one's ever read the Discworld books, go read Guards and a few of the others. They are very, very, very good. Nio and Nymaera have been sold. They have been. Yeah, they have been. IP using them to great success. Currently 8 and 1. Xiaofeng getting traded on pretty hard here. Doomby, if he gets in range for an E, could force the flash. Trying to force him not to go back to the inner turret because he thought he'd be chased down by the flick back. Has to flash out anyway. Doomby using the rock surfing passive for the extra move speed to force Xiaofeng's flash. Right there, you could see the angle he was choosing. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go do that thing where I go read Discworld. Exactly. Discworld is incredible. It is really, really good. Scuttle dead on top side. 1-for-1 between junglers there. Xiaofeng losing the flash though does keep NIP's lanes a lot safe. Reminder that NIP with Nio and Nymaera currently best team in Group Nirvana. Now that's a really cool story to follow because they were the duo of jungle support on one of the best LDL teams of the recent years, Top Esports Challengers. That's been a team which has put through a ton of talent over time into the LPL. But these two, you know, I don't think their debuts were fantastic, but they've been pretty okay, actually. They've been pretty okay. Would be cool if we get a darkness every time you reset the feed. What I can do is I can get a sound clip of it, and I can play that every time it happens. I'd need to set that up, but I could do that. That is within my power. Slower early game, no explosive ganks, no explosive skirmishes, one flash blow and that's it. Do get bot lanes resetting now. Nymaera Looks in towards mid, doesn't find anything. Level 6 hit by high chap. Derby, how did he miss that much XP? I mean, I guess if he cleans up the rest of this wave, it'll be fine. Right? Might have missed a min... No, wait, he's going to be a full wave behind. How did Derby miss that much XP? Alex was thinking after yesterday, if you were to associate a champ with the region, what would it be for LPL? Okay. That's... I think right now LPL would actually be Aurora. Heavy team fight, heavy flanking, side laning. I think Aurora is actually quite LPL coded right now. I think in the past you could have said something like Fiora or something like that. I actually think LPL as a region, like they are an Aurora region. Whereas LCK is more like a Zir, right? Which is the do-it-all champion with incredible scaling. Jumping forwards onto Ovo. Does have both summoners, blows the heal, still has flash. Not really sure I know if you have the go buttons to keep going with that now. Flash away from Nio, evening up the summoners between junglers. Quite hard to cut through an Alistar and a Skarner early into the game. I think in its current era, I don't think I can say LPL is Fiora anymore. I don't think I can say that anymore. I suppose you could also say, I don't know. No, I think Aurora is it. I think Aurora is the LPL pick right now. In terms of what I think of how it plays to playstyles. While it might not be the most picked or the most banned or perhaps even the most iconic, I think it's quite descriptive of how we play the game. Good E there from Derby. Would have stunned Xiaofeng if he jumped forward into a W. Good discipline from Derby. Means he escapes without using his summoner. Of course, I know if he picked up Derby at the start of the year. It's a great fanfare. This guy is a world champion. A lot of people have a lot of love for him. Of course they do. Difficult year, fair to say. But things are looking okay right now. They've made a whole bunch of other changes coming into this split, of course, with earlier in the year, Shanji, top laner, being replaced by Solokill, who I think has also been great. He was also a LDL player. He's just dashed forwards. Is that a problem? He's going next to the wall against the Alistar, which is not always the best thing. You can space out his combo, but fine enough here. Azir or Wukong for LCK? I think Azir, yes. I would have also called LCK the Sejuani region at points, but yes. I mean, you know, Wukong's also not bad. There's not bad a representation of LPL as well. But I think, go back towards 2023 and I would have said that, but that's because it was so played. Dragon started up, teleports across the map too, being channeled. LNG's bot lane are on top side. Means they're without Alistar or Sivir. Alistar just recalled. Dragon pulled off of. Quite dangerous to go towards early dragons. Often tank a little bit more than you want. LPL feels like the most support-determined Tier 1 league. I mean, look at Hung or Vampire. It feels like when they underperform, it's always a loss, Ammo. I mean, that's... I think that LPL has had, as Grubs go over towards NIP, I think LPL has had some very inconsistent support performances for quite a while now. I think since Ming stopped playing, which is a real shame, that's a whole contract scenario. After Ming stopped playing, after Mako started to become much more inconsistent, I think that the support level has been all over the place. Dragon goes to LNG, trade of Grubs for Dragon, all in all. Means, yeah, our support pool has not been consistently fantastic. You know, On... Everyone knows that On can be a world-beating support. Very hard to put him up at that top level of supports though with his inconsistencies. That being said, the caveats are he's had to play with a million different junglers. Was kind of that though, even with a consistent jungler. Flash away. Ooh, and an ult from the Sivir as the Varus ult came in. There's a Pantheon ult coming in now too. Level 7. There's a flash on the Pantheon, but he's not in range of it. Good flash by Leave to not get hit by a slow that. Pantheon ult, first one of the game. Gets summoners, but nothing else. Man, I miss Ming. So do I. Ming was fantastic. Ming was fantastic. You even think of players like Sword Art. Sword Art in like 2020 was insane. Then of course we went to NA to collect a fat paycheck, and that was really the last we saw of him. To an extent, you know. Okay. You look to cancel a recall. There's a... Ooh, good damage there. Both of them landing to make sure that spell shield didn't stop one of those skill shots. Also feel like LPL draft today is very similar to how LCK teams draft compared to other years. Well, we'll maybe answer that in a second. Catch onto Ovo, has a flash, doesn't get over the wall, and he can't go into the ult now because he cast his own ult early. Uses the exhaust, well, Niket uses the exhaust there, and High Chat's come down. Do they have enough damage? Ovo, what's this? No, he'll go into an early grave. Dernby gonna take some damage from the Aurora. Do they have another skill shot? Another bit of damage? No, they don't, and High Chat, Shalvi, no! Burning down, but not gonna hit the ground. One for none. And it does burn. The burn comes through. The tremors from the Sagana passive kill the Aurora. LNG lose 2 around the bot lane. That was about as good of a play as Ovo could get through at the back end of the plate. Still burned down. Tried to use that ult as late as possible to cleanse off CC. NIP were waiting for him to use that, so he couldn't cleanse off the Impale. Let's see a replay of that, actually. Although, he's trying to save the recall of his AD carry. And he does manage to do so. Driven into the wall, double knockup. Flashes away from the knockup. The ult's still running. Headbutts Nyket, hopefully back to tower, in a little bit of a ability to gap close there too. Ovo can't do anything more than this. He's trying to save the recall of his AD carry. With that in mind, that's all he can do there. Oh, great wall stun by Nio. And then he gets the Tremors passive. Look at this. Tick, tick, tick. Blam. Sagana passive, for those of you that don't know, when you hit someone with multiple skills, I think it's 3 skills, or empowered auto attacks from the Q, you start dealing max HP damage over time to them. Nyket, force over the wall, crash down, Ovo. Might get the auto attacks done after. Yeah, Nyket is probably dead here now. Well, he does kill and flash. Can he make an escape similar to Ovo? I don't think so. He's going to choose to conserve the summoners, go down. Another good combo by Ovo, actually. Now Pantheon onto the flashless Varus. He's gone too far. Potentially trying to save his AD carry. Good CC. But no follow-up. No follow-up. Leave will make it out safely. The Ghostblade will see him. With a bit more move speed to avoid danger. Early game, not 2,000, 1,500 gold lead to NIP. We'll be kind to LNG here. A lot of that in mid lane. Dernby getting a kill and assist. Haicha being down a kill. How's XP across the board looking? Good for leave. Nykat's dropped a little bit of XP compared to Ovo. Top lane's fine. Jungle is fine. A little bit of an XP lead to Niam, nothing huge. Need to keep track of them. XP leads can appear very quickly. Which one doesn't miss the cannon? Worried there. Has the intel built up first. Poke Varus going towards 2 items though. This Poke Varus is going to be very, very happy that there's not that much on the other side which can stop him from DPSing besides, you know, dunking down on him with a ton of damage. There's no tanks to kind of stand in front of him and give him issues. Dragon spawning will be second of the game for LNG, but I don't think they're going to contest it. Talia will shove up mid lane. They've already pushed up bot lane with the Ambessa. Shafang is walking into River. Perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps there will be a contest. I think it'd be dangerous for them to do so, especially with the Talia wall able to fly into the play. See that Dernby, as soon as he sees there might be a contest, walks over. Will now teleport towards top side, collect a wave which was being pushed in by Zuka. Zuka. That's the name. And this top laner for LNG has been... He's been put through the circles that Hali has, folks. He's been a very good top laner, despite being on arguably the worst team in the league. Ooh, ult comes through. Spell Shield we used on the arrow earlier. This one taking a ton of damage. And, yeah. He plans himself to catch them. Just a little bit. Next time that fish and hook goes out, the fish will get caught. That's too cheesy. That felt too cheesy. That felt too cheesy. We had fish for dinner last night. Nice. Fish fingers, kind of. Don't know why you needed to know that, but now you do know. Dimby, where is he in terms of his global capability? Level 11, so slightly longer range wall now. Feels so bad for Zuka. It is hard not to. It's really hard not to. This guy has been so good. He is probably a top 4 top laner in the league when he's playing at his best. And I don't think he's been playing at his best, but he's been playing incredibly well compared to the rest of the level of LNG. I don't think you would have blamed him for abandoning ship, not going to lie. He was the hottest prospect of an early offseason a couple of years ago. Nightcat going to get completely removed from the map. No HP left. 4-man unit in that brush. Was trying to sit around with the rest of his group, reclaim vision. Just pounced on easily by LNG. Although, quickly dealing with him. Combo comes out from the Aurora. Oh, still has some HP. Ovo has flash. Arrow's landing though. I mean, Leave is pretty damn strong. Jumping into mid lane. Zerka does have flash. They forced it out. Okay. Just aiming for the flash there, I think. I don't think they can get that much more of it. I think with Zerka having to flash away and not being within range to equalize, it leads to LNG failing off the objective. Yeah, bailing off of it. Push in towards that mid lane. Harold's still available, of course. Does Nia go towards it now? Nightcat is now respawned, has flash, has combo. Obviously very easily taken down at that first entrance to the play, but it gets to turn back and have another shot at it. If we're going to talk about LDL prospects, though, for NIP, have to talk about it for Leave, though. Leave on EDG Youth was being set up to be the next star of the LPL. If you look at the Chinese broadcast when he came around, they had so much content prepared for him. Then there was some controversy about some social media stuff. Apparently had an account which was flaming his jungler shit. He had like an alt account on Weibo which was doing that. There was a whole load of other controversy, and that kind of oh no, Novo. Alistair will go down after a failed flash over the wall. Tried to flash and then headbutt Dimby a bit further back. Nice pick off onto the Alistair. Dimby quick on the E fingers as well. Turret in mid lane goes down. First turret of the game is going to LNG, despite the fact that they don't have any grubs. Makes it harder for them to kill turrets. Feats is trying to go over towards NIP though, so actually, first turret doesn't really matter. They had the 3 kills, they had the 3 objectives. So first turret doesn't matter, just the fact that the tower goes down is important now. Because of the gold attached to it. There's no extra gold for first turret anymore. Leave at a clean 2-item spike. No money spent on boots, which means you have, 800 gold ahead of the curve compared to some AD carries. Has the free-ass boots from the inspiration tree. Very close to that Muramana transformation now too. You'll get it on the next wave. Needs one more charge of it. Should actually wait until right. He should have waited until just then to get the transformation of it. Guess it will be one more spell hit now. Oh, sorry, 360, not 260. I'm stupid. Well, he's not very close to it then, is he? I'm dumb. I saw like 50. I saw blah 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 150 something. I thought, oh, we'll get it now. Outer turret will go down in favor of NIP. They've taken 2 turrets on the side lanes. LNG have taken the 1 in the mid lane. Mid lane outer turret is the most important tower in the game. Helps you control the map, vision, and rotating around the map. But outside lane outer turrets, when you have a Durnby Talia heading at you, kind of scary to drive through the wall. Didn't want to get jumped onto by Xiaofeng. Dragon has spawned, 1 apiece right now. This could be quite an informative fight. I think we are aiming for a fight. Damn, that's good poke from Leave. This Varus has been doing bits. I think Leave has been incredible on the Varus so far, keeping himself safe. And again, just look at the damage. Fish One's not been able to play. Poor guy, he's been trying to keep his spell shield alive, has to force the ult, and this is because of the poke landing from the Varus. Doesn't have the HP to stand and fight. Herald will go into mid lane. Can they kill it in time? No, they can't. And the turret will take a chunk. Leave, when's the next arrow coming through? Because that stuff has been annoying. Yep, down to about half HP now is that Alistair. Ult coming through. I think they see that as the go button. The HP bar's not looking fantastic. There's no flash on the Alistair. Lost that earlier. Novo strikes again. And a flash away from Fish 1. He can't do anything. It cleanses away from the Varus ultimate. Pinged by 2 ultimates in the same fight. Makes it out alive. NIP, significant advantage now around the dragon. LNG, they just sit around, can't find an engage, get poked down to hell. And that inactivity and inability to find an angle leaves them without a dragon. And without position to contest it. Atakan's now spawned. I don't think an IP will rush that. I bloody hope they don't. Atakan is nasty. Must have been about the 5th arrow, which Leave hit during this fight. Dimby gets into a good angle. Catches out the Alistair still with that flash from that top side play. Picture in picture, we do actually have a fight in bot side. Flick back misses. E forced out from the Pantheon. Alistair still doesn't have flash, and now doesn't have ultimate. Well, I think his debut's been okay. This one is a bit of a horror show now for the Alistair. Good start to the game. Now just getting picked off on cooldown. NIP organized about how they look for picks. Let's split up and look for picks. As I don't know. Is it Fred from Scooby-Doo? Fred from Scooby-Doo. That's what he'd say. And they'd have, you know, that thing where they have a chase scene and they run between different doors and come out of different ones. Normally how going... No, normally you go through one door and you come out of the same door, you see. Yeah. Jump onto Xiaofeng. This is what we didn't see in the picture-in-picture. It started up a little early. The Impale flashed away from. That's important. No flash on Pantheon means his playmaking is pretty removed. Leave. That was a bad teleport, friend. Loses both technical summoners there. They use the teleport and then flashes out. I mean, let's see if LNG can punish that. They haven't been able to do so far. Oh, Leave. That was a play of all time. Didn't get punished for it, though. Never punished. Ovo flashing over the Shattering Strike and getting some CC down. Doesn't pop the ultimate just yet, and he might feel like he wanted to. Damage coming through onto him. Is there any more burn? He'll survive. Ovo and Nymaera, both living to tell the tale. I love how Nymaera... That's a bug, by the way, sometimes. Rakan sometimes says that, too, where he hits the blast gun and just flies straight up in the air. Atakan forced now. NIP, are they going to get contested on it? LNG do not have the information to know which kind of HP it's at, or if it's even being done at all. Pushing the bot side. And it is coming down here. It's under half HP. I think NIP should just keep DPSing this, though. They have the Varus ult. There's no flash on Pantheon. He could have ulted in, I suppose, and died for the objective. Now Doomby gets a slap back with his own global. Flick back misses. Good damage. Slow from Nio. This Skarner really annoying at this point because he's really, really tanky. They do have an equalizer. Could throw that into the choke point. Pantheon is coming through as well. Who are they trying to ping? Well, that's going right into the middle of the enemy team, so the Pantheon doesn't really feel that good. Equalizer is okay in the choke point, but it's not that much. And Leave gets pinged by the Ambassador. Leave is, Fish 1 gets pinged by it. And, I mean, that is the Ambassador doing work in the backline. Gets 2 there. Solo kill makes it a double in the backline. Leave does die to Zucker in the backline of the fight, so both AD carries go down 2 for 2, but reminder that the Atakan was taken by NIP, so they walk away with the better share of the objective. Doomby pulling a knight with the 9-stack Magi is now brought in after this fight, feeling confident. Doomby has become, you know, core to this team. NIP picked him up, and the changes changed around him. Doomby forcing Haichao back here, really important. Delays the combo coming through, means that Xiaofeng doesn't have much support here. Ambassador jumps onto one AD carry. The problem is that then leaves Rumble alone with his own AD carry. He gets 2 kills, so you forgive him. But Ambassador being the one person stood in front of the Varus going, haha, I'm protecting him, and then just blinking out and saying, see ya, buddy. Oh, God. Ugh. Why are LNG so scared to fight when they have a champ advantage? Or don't they have confidence? Well, I think that the drafts are even enough, right? I keep saying right. I need to stop doing that. It annoys me when I say that. But I think it's even enough. And LNG have had this problem with inactivity for the last 2 years, I want to say now. Yeah, 2 years now. 23 was when they looked fantastic. And then last year, they started to lose proactivity again. No, last year. No. Last year they actually went towards. No, that's not true. It really is this year. Although there were some points where LNG were known as a slower team. The thing about LNG in 23 and 24 was that they played by the book. And if the book said play slow, they played slow. which is why some people didn't like them scaling and waiting and playing slowly around objectives or side lanes. You know, they had Scout and Gala. They were very, very good late game carries. Oh, Pantheon going to be unable to be stopped. Solo kill, trapped in the side lane. Fish 1 trying to run out, and that's a great ultimate for Solo kill to bring him back into the team formation. There's no flash on the Alistair. I think he's going to die here alone. A sad, sad cow alone in the barn. He's gone to the farm upstate. Ovo goes down. Easy as you like. Great ultimate from Solo kill to bring him back to safety in amongst his team's phalanx. That'll get them the dragon. And LNG, another... At least they try to make a play there, but it's just not well executed enough. NIP answer quickly. And NIP reminding us that they are, you know, the 8-1 team within Group Nirvana, and LNG struggling to make ends meet themselves at 1-6. They had one series win rather, after the first round robin. They had a 0-5 completely winless first round robin. That is a fast Talia. The Magi is being so quick on his feet. He has a crazy advantage over Haichao. 1.6k, a level lead. Magi's in inventory as well. That is why Magi's can be so powerful, by the way, folks. Magi's tier 2 boots, rock surfing passive. Talia moves around like just like a rocket unleashed now. A rocket? LNG is so much less than the sum of their parts. That is a good way to put it. I think Haichao has been decent before. I think Zucker has been a top 4 player in his role in the league before. I think that Ovo has actually had an okay debut. Fish 1, I don't really know enough to say about him. It's quite hard to say. AD carry is one of those roles which is, you have to play within the envelope your team gives you, and LNG is not giving him one right now, so how can you judge an AD carry like that? Xiaofeng on OMG as well was okay. You know, he was a mid-table jungler. So LNG has a few players in here which would make easily into mid-table teams, except LNG is not a mid-table team. They are firmly at the bottom of the table. Red buff seal for NIP on the agenda. It's like going to the supermarket, going to the red buff aisle. I don't know what kind of discount they get on it this time. Oh, because you're NIP, we'll give you 50% off. Imagine that superstar status. Both these teams, ones with home arenas. I actually wonder, because NIP, they're based in Shenzhen, LNG based in Suzhou. I wonder how the local city... I get that, you know, esports, despite it being much more mainstream than China. I wonder if the players, like, around the cities they're based in have any more kind of, like, regional loyalty from the fan base there, you know? Wait, you made a recent LPL All-Pro team? Was it all IG, TFC? Was it all IG? By the way, like, I will say, like, I like Rookie, and I think Rookie's been doing really well this play. Hang on, Sivril goes onto Nio as he jumps forward and doesn't get that much. The Impale stops Ovo from ulting him, from headbutting him back. Now Pantheon left alone in the middle of the backline, completely alone. Misses the Ambassador ult, does Solo kill. There's no flash on Xiaofeng now. If he did get hit by the ult, I think he would have been dead to rights. Turns out he's still dead to rights. The equalizer onto 3 is not bad, but the Locket soaks up a bunch of that damage. Ovo pinged by an unlucky Impale there, could have potentially punted the Skarner back into the team, where I think he would have taken a lot of damage. There was a 2-item Sivir potentially hitting him, of course, with the Aurora as well. Jumping forwards now, front to back has established itself, but one team has 5 members, the other one has 4, and one of them might be on 3 soon as well. Yep, that's the third. Zerka spotted with a sweeper in the brush. Now, does not give a damn. He's walked forwards for even more damage. This Skarner has been instrumental to NIP's success. Nio, part of that jungle from the LGL duo of Nyket and Nio, cleaning up shop here. LNG wiped off the board, 5 for none. No one dies in NIP after an ill-fated dive. Saw Xiaofeng left alone, dead to rights. LNG just can't piece together and engage. NIP much better at playing in the 5v5s. Baron will go to the side of NIP. They'll see themselves in sole control of this game now. Minute till Dragon, that would be sole control. How funny you say in chat. They get to reset, spend their gold. 23 stacks on the Medjais for DMB, by the way. Nio didn't quite get the range on his thing that he wanted, and then charging up the ult to make sure he can't get headbutted back. Nio, that is insane. I think Nio's been my MVP. I think early game, Leaf was doing some crazy damage, but the more I look at this, the more Nio has been just so crucially clutch. I watched a movie with some Yorkshire accents in it the other day. Now I'm stuck talking like this. It's not even that Yorkshire, but it's not I'm stuck talking now. It's just a bad Yorkshire accent. Nio just kept rolling forwards. The Skarner has been so disgusting. And I think NIP, amongst other teams within the LPL, have... oh, he even cancels out another headbutt Polv with his wall drive. That's insane. Oh, Nio. Great game from him. I don't really think OVO is playing that bad. No, I don't think so either. It's just... how do you judge players on LNG when they just don't play as a unit? How do you judge this team? Ult's coming in again. Zerka jumped on by Doomby. Remember, he has 23 Magi stacks onto him, which means he dies very, very quickly. Clean engage by the Rel. Left on one side of the fight, but he has a ton of damage. And high chat flick back by Doomby. Again, solo kill cleaning up on the other side of the fight. Clean up at all aisles. LNG go down. Part and parcel. 5 for none. Another clean ace. LNG just cannot piece together an engage. They're going to double teleport, triple teleport even, into the mid lane. Reminder that Leaf has one of them too. And that should be the end of the game, just over 32 minutes in. LNG, less than the sum of their parts, sadly for them. Just not coordinated enough. Not able to play the map well enough to pull NIP into individual fights. When they get to the 5v5s, cannot find their form. NIP at 8-1 take the lead in their 10th series here. And will keep themselves well on pace to finish first potential LNG. Oh my god, they both even have the arcane skins. Oh. We have the basically Spirit Blossom Victor, Arcane Survivor Jace. Let's get back into it, folks. Okay, Xiaofeng. Ooh, one passive not landing. Does he flash for the auto attack? No, Q start from Doomby. Takes some good damage off him. It won't be the death of the Xiaofeng brand at the level 1. The fist bump, Bowman, legendary stuff. Yeah, it's just basically since COVID they don't shake hands. They fist bump instead, which I think there's something to a firm handshake, but it's respectful of each other's health to fist bump like that. Ooh, doubly at level 1 there from Fish 1. I'm gonna go quickly restart the clean feed again, because it does sound like the thingy is just a little bit off. Darkness. We're back into the thing, blah blah blah. Okay, and we're back, and there we go. Cool. I need to get that Nocturne sound file for every time I restart the clean feed. There's what? Nice. Pack of milk, is that what we call it here in Germany? Pack of milk. You know how in Canada they have bags of milk? Which, again, that disturbs me greatly, I say. Yep. Like if you in D&D, if you have a bag of holding and you put one bag of holding inside of another bag of holding, it opens like a tear into the temporal plane. Astral plane, rather, and like destroys everything around it. That's how you can kill a Kraken for free. Fighting over the level 1, the Braum, Senna, I think stronger in lane by quite an amount, actually, especially against the Leona. But the idea of the LNG lane is not to... not necessarily to win 2v2s, it's just to get safe farm. Leave actually missing a couple of double taps there onto Fish 1 and Ovo. Would have liked to get that passive rolling a little quicker. Xiaofeng using the buffed brand to clear through jungle. This might be back. This pick might be back, you know. You know, if Jace mid lane is fine, it's stuff like Victor, which is a common blind pick. This is fine. What should we going back to the horse meat talk? Who was talking about horse meat? I know in France they eat it a fair amount. Less of a common thing in the UK. Can you get the double taps here? Yeah, there you go. Leaf gets one there. Doesn't get the second one. Me, when I put 700 barrels of smoke powder into my bag of holding, then proceed to throw said bag into the nearest cave. Well, at that point, it wouldn't be a cave. It would be like a crater. It would be an open-air canyon. So that, thank you. Doomby doing a decent job of trading in terms of HP, but Haicha still... This is the thing about Jason mid lane. You do get bullied out in terms of HP against a lot of stuff. Hang on, punt back into tower. It's going to be 2 turret shots. That's a problem for Zerka. His early lane is now effectively over. We'll need to teleport back. Solo kill will not be under threat of being solo killed anymore. Nice, thank you. Naya, making an appearance bot side. It's like having those you know those trail cameras where you have them just in the wilderness and you see what runs over them? You just see a deer. This time they've got a weapon of warfare. Trying to hold the wave outside a tower now. Braum passive onto Ovo. Flashes under tower. He doesn't have that flash now to do anything. He doesn't have a aftershock or anything. Heal used early, and that'll be a dead Leona. Hang on a second, though. Still going to be the 1-for-1, and it is the Smolder getting the kill. I don't think Fish 1 hates that. Now, looking for the double tower shots onto Xiaofeng. Because I was about to say, you know, get the Braum, get the Brand passive there, get the stun onto him, and get the passive active. That could actually be a kill, as long as the stun doesn't go into the Brand. Not the Brand. Cassante W, which makes you unstoppable, gives you all the damage resistance. I think that's an easy kill. Jump forward into mid lane. Mr. Talus, we've been expecting you. I reckon I could pull off an okay Victor. I do miss Jace mid. I think Jace mid is actually a very fun pick. It's high variance. You know, if you're good at the pick, you get to have a ton of really cool plays on it. It's very mechanical compared to a lot of mid laners. However, it's very risk heavy. You are actually quite fragile compared to a lot of mid laners ever since they nerfed his ranged resists and stuff like that. He definitely does play more like a ranged champion now than a melee one. Whereas before it felt like he was a ranged champion with melee stats. It was kind of a... Oh my god, that's a great point. If Fish 1 like carries a late game, does he become Garadon instead of Gyarados? Oh my god, it'd be like the legendary birds from Pokemon. You've got Fish 1, Gyarados, and then I don't know, Dragon Tress. The evolution of the lesser seen AD carry in LNG. Get himself some stacks into the Cassante. Now, what LNG might look to do is solo lane the Smolder into the Cassante eventually, because the Smolder's actually quite a good side lane matchup into the Cassante. You can die, but it's not too bad. Would he not just be Fish 1, as in W-O-N? Solo kill, trying to stack up that Q, hits the level 6. Now, because of the XP difference between the Smolder and the Cassante, there is actually a chance for solo kill to jump on the Smolder and get some decent kills. Smolder really needs boosts of swiftness to lane against the Cassante too, from what I've found. Jump forward to mid lane. I really like seeing the two arcane skins against each other, actually. The visuals of it are very cool. Solo kills, charging with his Q, pulls him through the wall. Which one does have flash? Will it matter? No, it will not. Damn, that name is appropriate sometimes, isn't it? Gets himself the kill onto the Smolder. Nio on the other side gets the Braum passive, and there's a... Well, hang on a second, there's a wave of tower. Is he able to make it out? No, the minions! The minions not able to tank the turret. I think he ended up taking aggro from a burn onto another target. He was close enough to their tower to switch tower aggro over. Recall's not stopped. Second one is actually Nightcat. Now in a little bit of trouble. Uses the shield for the move speed. Another Q comes up. Naya goes down easily in the top side. Sorokiri. Isn't he a Dragonfish 1 right now? Hey, well, the thing is that, you know, you've already got the chill in your logo. You've got the dragon on the board as well. Just throw as many mythical beasts as you want in there. Because, I mean, I know there are some... we get the replay through here. What happened here? Level 6 from Zerka. Oh, well, okay. This is just Zerka things. Senna doesn't want to go beyond the turret, which means that they don't have that much to do there. Flash away from Nightcat. That's really well played from Zerka. But then, yeah, the burn goes on to... The burn is already active onto champions near the turret, so now it picks up aggro, sadly. What are the legendary creatures of the northeast, south, and west for China? Grubs, oh yeah, by the way, Brand's specialty kills Grubs very, very quickly. First one goes down. Now they're going to engage off of that. Good play onto Brand. The Braum, and the ult goes through as well. Wow, that's an easy kill, actually. The Brand doing hella damage, yep. That champion's been buffed a hell of a lot, by the way, holding the choke point. I tell you what, if Brand is back, that opens up so many different draft options. The patch potentially opening up things closer towards summer of last year in some of those drafts. Some strong AD early game lanes, which get your Brand through the early game, and then the Brand gets to pop off later. Gets himself a great kill there. Starting to pick up farm ahead of Nio now. Nio's starting to go into the enemy jungle. Did we forget what Brand does? Exactly. Exactly. He's only been away for like a year. He was most picked ban jungler for grand majority of last year. I think, by the way, Zyra had some pretty big buffs too, actually, coming through. So perhaps Brand and Zyra both coming back. I have become a bit of a Zyra fan over the years because I played so much Zyra in Arena. For those of you that don't know, I reached rank 1 in Arena by playing Zyra. Bradfield goes down. TNB taking some hard trades there. There's damn. As gotta say that Chase. No. No, not yet. Maybe the next time it happens, we make a joke about that. Okay. Don't you worry, we've got a line prepared. Leave stacks 40 coming up just before the 10-minute mark. But hang on a second, that's really good. That's really good stacking from Leave. $40 stacks at 10 minutes. You normally expect 50 at 20. Now, if he keeps it up at that rate, he'd have 80 stacks by 20 minutes. That is insane value. This is a farming center. I guess he's just like been permanently farming. I haven't watched his map movements, but has he been walking around following the jungle? Leave previously in this split ended up getting, I think, a world record for this value of center. That's a dead Sensei. Yep, that's why you pick Renekton Brand. Renekton has always been an AP jungler enabler. Renekton Nidalee, Renekton Lilia, Renekton Talia, Renekton Brand. If you stun someone in front of an AP jungler, they get their full combo. AP junglers are very commonly gated by the fact that they have to hit their shit, and it's quite hard to do that. With Renekton, that is much less of an issue. Brand 2-0. LNG looks so much better in this game, don't they? Also completely unrelated, but Japanese curry is so much better when you use stock and Hondashi, along with root. Yeah, I mean, Sam made a homemade Japanese curry the other day, actually. Now, I'm just happy with golden curry blocks. I think they're fine. What I would suggest for your curries, put grated or like shredded radish and spring onion on top of it as condiment, and also put it with like mozzarella or melted cheese. Japanese curry is really good with melted cheese on top of it. Not all curries are. Not all Indian curries or Thai curries, stuff like that. I wouldn't say that, but golden curry is absolutely fine. Also, what I would suggest as well, because I make a lot of Japanese curry, if you're cooking it and you're putting the potatoes in, make sure you cut up most of the potatoes chunky, but then have, I'd say, about a half to a full potato of quite small diced bits, because what that will do is those small diced bits will kind of get mushed up and fry onto the bottom of the pan, and it'll give you like a really nice kind of like fried potato taste in it as well. Fish one, ulting on bot side for the heal. Leave really dealing well with that 1v1. Cooking lessons with Nymaera. Cooking stream 1. Questions abound. Dragon is alive, and I'm not talking about the smog. Shafan wants to take the scuttle if possible. Don't think there's going to be a contest on that. Early smites. Takes care of that. Can you say that again about the food? Yes, I can, Hidom. So Japanese curry. There's a lot of... Pretty much everyone has their own variation of Japanese curry. Look, okay, look, I'll talk about it after the dragon fight, because... There's probably going to be a dragon fight. Yep, there is. There we go. Evo goes on to leave. Flashes that, cleanses away. The center ult doesn't hit anyone, so no damage comes through. Chaostorm is dropped on the other side. That's not bad. Nio lands the double sleep. Is there any follow-up? Flash forward for the W. Q afterwards as well. Dead Brand. Has he died for the attempt? Perhaps. Smolder can get some damage in, and a snipe from the Jace takes down the enemy jungler. 1-for-1, but HP bars in favor of NIP. Flash forward for the Braum passive. Jace potentially getting taken down by his old partner in crime as well. Victor not able to finish that one off. The Cassante will live in the 1v1 on top side. Have NIP earned themselves the dragon? Probably not with their own jungler going down. A lot of your DPS onto the objective there comes from your jungler. Okay, dragon fight over. Yes, about food. So when you're making Japanese curry, Golden City curry blocks are completely fine. Just use them. But I would suggest grated radish springing in on top of it. Condiment. It's just really good, just like fresh taste on top of it. You can also do some fresh chili with that too, if you particularly like that taste as well, or if you've got ones, if you need a little bit more spice. Leave, of course, escapes the cleanse through that, but then misses the ult into everyone, so less damage coming through. Oops. And then the other thing I'd suggest is, when you're putting potatoes in the curry, because every curry has potatoes and carrots for Japanese curry, make sure you cut up, like, an amount of the potatoes large and small. Like, I'd say if I'm putting 4 potatoes in, I'd put one of them fully just into, like, halves or quarters. And then I'd put, like, 1 or 2 as quite small ones, quite small chunks, because then they kind of almost kind of like fry onto the bottom of the pan, and it kind of gives you that kind of fried potato slash fries kind of taste. It's really cool. You know, funnily enough, J-Bob, Sam made the Persona 5 curry the other day. He actually made that the other day. It was really nice. Yeah. Although he got turmeric on my wooden chopping board, so now it's just going to be permanently yellow stained for, you know, forever. Because turmeric just never comes out of anything. So, yeah, little bit annoyed at that. But whatever, it'll be a good memory, that shall be. I made my mess yesterday with a bottle of chicken stock and back in Fondoshi. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think... Hang on, Chaostorm dropped onto High Chow, gets stunned up with the gravity field too. Ow, Death Ray in there as well. Okay, we'll be able to force him off from the turret even more. Nice. Yeah, I make a lot of Japanese curry, so you can also put, like, apple chunks in. You can put some coffee in as well. Add some nice flavor to it. Like some ground coffee. You find what makes things taste good to yourself, really. Teleport towards the top side. Solo kill might try and drag him under turret with the W. Forces High Chair back. In fact, Zucker takes aggro to make sure that the Jace can survive. Is that going to be enough to save him? Last turret shots is enough. 1-for-1 solo kill. With the help of Leave, getting a cross-map kill. Kill goes to the Cassante under that top turret. I really like how Solo Kill played that, saying, look, I'm going to clear the wave, I'm going to punt you into the turret. Use the W, use the ults. You could also see on the other side of that Zucker taking aggro to make sure that the Hydra wouldn't immediately die. He took it for too long, of course. Ends up being a 1-for-1. LNG slightly ahead of goal. You got the first turret there. It was NIP. So objectives are going to determine our feats of strength. Hey, Hemba, how's it going? I didn't realize I tuned into MasterChef. You know, funnily enough, I went to a restaurant where the winner of a series of Junior MasterChef was cooking. It was really, really good. Shafan will take the Herald. Of course, Brand very good at taking them too. You got executed by Tao. Shit, wait, it was an execute? Wait, no, surely it wasn't execute. Are you kidding me? Did I miss that? Oh, wow, I missed that. I'm so sorry. Execute came in. All from Smolder. Huh, I guess I missed that. My bad, folks. Execution, no kill. Yep, seeing that multiple chats. My bad. I guess I was talking too much about curry. All right, yes. Now there's like 7 people saying it. When it was 3 of you, I appreciated you. Now it's 7. You're ganging up on me, is what you're doing. The caster... pointed laugh at him. The caster Mr. Kill and executes. Oh my god, there's... Okay, yes, stop. It's like playground antics all over again. All good. I appreciate you all. Occasionally we miss those things. That's important. Zucker taking the tower aggro there, of course, ends up being a huge part of that play now. DMB will take this top lane out of turrets. More gold towards that Victor. This is a really good team comp for Victor to kill later on, not going to lie. God. Thank you, Dan Robert. Thank you, Sam Greg. Yep, you've all let me know. Bot lane out of turret goes down in favor of LNG. I think Alex can make a mean shepherd's pie. I don't like shepherd's pie. Mashed potato and I have a complicated relationship. I don't like a lot of but I didn't execute that commentary right. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ask about their obsession with Lagama. Lagama is the greatest condiment known to man. Funnily enough, Laganjie, the team LGD, their name comes from a competitor brand too, Lagama. But in here, we'll see how our rivals can interact with this one. Braum Shield blocking out that Smoldering, keeps Leave safe. I think Ovo has just died for that dive. Brand could potentially get an ult to the backline though, and does. And folks, let's not bounce the Brand ult around. Let's be serious now for a second. Decent damage coming through. Leave missing out on that. Hang on, let's have a check on his stacks. He's got 74 stacks at 18 minutes. Leave is so good at stacking on the center. Has he got hacks or something? Jeez. Leave has been stacking so well. Whenever you see Leave on a stacking champion, he manages to find great ways to get them tops up early. I don't think I've seen anyone across the world stacking Senna as well as Leave in its current iteration on the Senna. Good thing onto there. Sleep lands onto him. Will cleanse out on it. He's still at this risk, you know. Flashes out from the ultimate. Cleanse, flash away. He might have gone too far for this now. One more bit of damage will kill him. Xiaofeng trying to get it through. Is there enough burn? No, there isn't, because the last Q heal comes through. Nio flash in for the Q. Niket turned himself into the play too. Two hit the floor. Can they find a third one? I'm not sure. The slow misses. NIP play the knife's edge fight well, and NIP walk out ahead. Leave is now at 80 stacks, by the way, before 19 minutes. He's got 4 range increases. He has an extra 40% crit chance at 19 minutes into the game on a farming Senna. That shouldn't be possible. Nio, incredible turnaround there too in that play. The hero of that play. Let's not forget him. Gets the E, unassisted in mid lane. Forces the cleanse out. The burn's already coming through. Leave does walk melee range into a Brand Leona after that point. Not fantastic. But then the E, the Swifties give him enough movement speed to get out. His Q heal saves him from the burn. And there's no cooldowns left. Brand's cooldowns at this point of the game, not short enough to immediately get a second stun out or something like that. It's gone for the Liandry's going into the Rylai's. It's the classic Brand build where the burn and the passive keeps ticking that slow over and over. It's why Brand hyper synergizes with Rylai's. Your passive keeps that Rylai's and Liandry's ticking for forever. But it means he doesn't have that much cooldown reduction. And he's also not at that Rylai's just yet, which is a huge breakpoint. On the other side, Nio with those kills, 1,000 gold lead, 7 stacks on Darkseal, Liandry's Riftmaker, which means that the extended value is insanity from Lilia. Now, a lot of the time, Lilia likes to go into an early Zhonya's because you're very low range for an AP jungler. You are the lowest range of AP junglers in meta most of the time. The only other ones really I can think of that could be meta at points are stuff like Diana, who is, of course, fully melee besides the Q poke occasionally. Nymaera trying to walk in towards mid lane. Poke from Jace has not necessarily done that much hit. Dragon has spawned, and I would like their second ult under top lane so I can force the flash. That's not bad, you know, getting rid of the Renekton flash. Really needs that to get on top of the Senna later. Herald in mid lane, it won't kill with the charge. They do have 3 grubs if they can walk up for an extra auto attack. I don't think they're able to do that though. NIP really quite threatening with stuff like Braum Qs leading into Senna Ws. Potential Victor E's with the slow when you get that max upgrade as well. Painful. Dragon's still alive, of course. Ooh, good poke there. Yeah, you know when the health bar shudders a little, that's when you know you got the good damage coming in. And power shock blast. Goes hard. Leave 92 stacks. Yeah, that one hits again. Senna, not that tanky. Can struggle a little bit when it comes to dealing with poke comps, can the Senna. Yes, you can help heal people up, but you are very, very He gets another stack there, by the way. Another double tap. 95. Close to 100 stacks. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Ooh, good combo there. Puts the E through. Passive spreads from that E. The poke from the Jason, the Brand, coming up tops there. That's Swell Seed. Close to hitting. I think NIP will have to give this one up. Another Swell Seed landing. They have vision on it. That'll be down without a fight, though. Smite comes in from LNG. Ooh, not bad damage there. Ultimate's traded. Chaos Storm, Adorning Shadow. Mom! There as well. Fish one, my dude. You gotta be careful with those side steps. Almost step back into it. Oh, bloody hell. Another Shock Blast landed onto Leave, which will have left them unable to contest. DMB. He's stationed in that mid lane against Hai Chao. Catch on Thovo. He has no flash. It's a good Zenith played into the backline. Zervazooka doesn't have flash. If he had flash, he might be able to follow up that play, but he can't now. The Braum passive threatening now. Leave gets himself another stack. 99. When's he going to get the 100 stack? Very close onto it. There we go. 100 stacks at 22.49. A ridiculous stacking rate from Leave. 100 stacks. He has an extra 50% crit chance. An extra 100 range or something like that. Yeah, does not do things in half measures. Does Leave on these stacking champions. Derby trying to beat off the enemy team. I'm sure Jace is happy with that. Derby walking forwards again. Charges up that Q. Fish one. Flashing out.
Atakan taking a lot of damage off of NIP, shredding them a little bit. You can see these W's landing from the center, getting good value here. This fire cannon giving them decent amount. Zenith Blade landing onto Nyket. Ovo goes down. He's had a difficult series here. As Chaos Storm comes through, gets a bit of a reset. Nio is low. There's a potential of a turnaround fight here. Is it an Atakan? Dragged back by the all-out. The brand is out of the pit. Atakan secured, and NIP will take themselves the objective and be able to roll forward into the fight. Slow lands onto Fish One. Has the cleanse, but I don't know whether it'll save him. Sucker into the backline. I don't think he can do much again without that flash, though. Smolder, Fish One, not able to stand and fight at any point in this series. NIP doing quite well around that Atakan. You know, holding a good distance away from it. Fish One caught out so many times by random bits of CC. Not been able to really impact these late game fights. Holy moly, though. Lever's already got an extra 12 stacks. So he completed his, wait, was it 2250 was the 100 stacks. 2 minutes later, got himself, you know, good stacks again. But what are you meant to do as LNG? You have to engage before the Atakan is down, because you want that shred to remain there and the damage to come through. But they're outranged, they're outpoked at this point somehow, despite the fact that they have the Jason, the Smolder, that they've been outpoked. And Doomby just marches forwards. Doomby have bloodletters now. We can get some extra shred across the team, which is important. That can help out the Lilia a little bit. Walking in towards the blue buff steal. There are more members from LNG on the top side close to this build blue buff, so if it comes to a fight, LNG might have better angles. Zenith Blade hands and the Blast Cone puts Nio into a difficult spot. Flash will wait them on the Solar Flare. Into the choke point we go. Chaos Storm is okay. Leave. Jesus Christ, that damage from Leave. Shock Blast lands. Zucker on the flank. Does have the flash coming up in a second. Leona goes down though. Zucker will clean up one in the backline, but I don't think he's got that much more to say about this fight. Suppose he does have the dominance, though perhaps maybe he will. Has flash, gets on towards that Lilia, and Power's stun comes through. Good damage coming through. Sleep coming back from the Lilia though. And potentially that sees off the end of this fight. Death Ray comes through. Flash in from Zucker, trying to kill out that Lilia. And will not quite be able to do so. The shield from the footwork of Cassante saves his jungler. As Zucker uses that flash, such a valuable resource, but can't get quite enough done with it. Derby can stick around on the top side. Jace will have to back off. Leave, pushing in this mid lane. NIP take a bit of a flippy fight in the jungle, put it into their favor. Can they take down this mid lane outer turret as well? Perhaps. There we go. Second turret of the game down for them. Third turret, rather. The full outer ring of turrets down and out. LNG have two turrets themselves. Failed to take that mid lane outer turret, which is, of course, the most important turret in the game. So what happens here, then? Ovo comes over an unexpected angle. Blast Cone gets hit. I don't know whether it's by Ovo or whether it's by Nio or Nyket. Does put Nio out of position a little bit. Rids him of his flash. Ovo does get out safely. I think you probably just have to take the win here. Going in for the second Zenith Blade is no bueno. No me gusta nada. Zucker has the flash. He realizes, look, this is the time for me to do anything. Tries to dash out. Disengaged a little bit. Luckily, the Q doesn't hit him there. Gets the empowered everything. Gets brought back with the call out. And it's only the footwork shield which saves Nio here. Look at this. So close. That is a Cassante E to save his jungler's life. Really good stun. Leave. What stack's he on now? 120? Yep. It's a little bit slower stacking. He reached that 100, and then he's not been stacking as heavily right now, but doesn't matter, really. He's already got the range he needs. 225 has been hit by the Smolder, so he has his own stacks as well. He's only got those 2 items, not as scary. W just missing there, although does have flash. Nio. This is a problem now. You're fighting into a choke point. Let's see how much damage Fish One on the Smolder can do. That scaling factor is kind of scary. Solar Kill has a couple of options. That's an ult onto the brand from the Lilia. Solar Kill flashing forwards, and that ult from the Lilia kills him down. Hydra getting decent damage on Solar Kill, and it will bring him down with the last of the brand passive. Ends up being 1 for 1, all things said and done. LNG, considering that they're quite far behind in this game, will be happy to take that one. 4 stacks for Naya, by the way, on the Magi's. That Deer's got a little bit more spring in their step. A little faster around the rest of the move speed. WE Zucker. Honestly, that would be so big for Team WE. They'd be so big for them, actually. But Zucker has been a good top laner. He's ahead 2,000 gold. Yes, he's on a Renekton, and you expect some gold leads, but Zucker is very good at leveraging them. Kind of insane that Zucker is on a team with only 1 win in Nirvana. Exactly. He's actually on the worst team in the LPL right now. Of course, OMG and RNG were in the LPL earlier in the year. They're currently playing in the LDL. They have been eliminated from the LPL for the rest of this year. But for now, it does leave the LNG as the worst team in Leave. Extra range, helping him out a fair bit there. Solar Kill could teleport. And Jesus Christ, the center damage even just steps out of the Solar Flare. The E-running, Swifties. Makes it really hard to catch out the center. Look at the move speed. Look at the move speed. Look at the plays. Look at the moves. Leave. What was that? Oh, you guessed it by that one. Okay, well, whatever. Has 3 items. He is on 100% crit, by the way, over that. Because the 2 items he has have 50% crit. He'll have a bit of lifesteal on top of that. Now, although I don't know what he's doing there, but he hasn't been there for that long. He's now 0 and 6. LNG really, really struggling in terms of cohesiveness. I actually think Ovo has been an okay playmaker, but just the movements around the map are just not good enough. A flash forward and height shell on the Jace. Maybe sent into the underworld. The burn will kill him. Senna overkills with the ults. Jace goes down. NIP take 3 quick kills if you include Ovo before that. And they'll head towards the Baron easy as you like. LNG not putting up much of a fight in this series, sadly, beyond a little bit of the early game in this one. NIP dispatching of them. The Baron should be the end of this series, really. I don't know if you can say RNG are playing in LDL. That's true. They are technically in the LDL, but they forfeit all of their games because they have not been able to field rosters XYZ. Go back to the replay of the setup to this again. Did that W land over the wall? No, it didn't. It's just... Oh my god, such a fast Lilia. When you get over a 10-stack Magi's on Lilia, the move speed is disgusting. Your Q stacks, your Magi's, the overkill from the ult there. Jeez. Jace got sent to Zorn. Damn. No one tell Caitlyn that the people of the Undercity deserve to breathe. I think she might take issue with that. I just wish that Arcane Season 2 stuck to the guns of the social commentary that they were making in Season 1. Because the animation team clearly did, but then the actual story members didn't. You can read into it how you want, but it felt like they really just played softball with Season 2, you know? Great damage again from Leaf. That Infinity Edge. Ow, Last Whisper on top of it too. Yep, that'll hurt. Turret gets taken by both of the J-Vic duo. One on one side of the map, one on the other. We have them on the side, and Victor beats off Jace from the top lane, which I'm sure he's very happy about. Oh, God. Never let me have a microphone again. Or access to AO3. Shaftfog heading towards topside. It's an honorable 1v1. Let them fight. Let them fight. Let them work out their frustration. I think Victor's winning this one. I think it... Wait, maybe not. Yes, he does. There we go. Kill. Over towards Victor. Good night, sweet prince. Chase hits the ground. It's twice. Yes, it is kites, but that one's better for a clip on TikTok. If you see it on TikTok, it's because I've then made it twice so I can have a cleaner call of it. That's why. Do I think Xiaofeng's going to get more kills? Finally, an honest take on the Arcane X second season. Look, I didn't mind it. I thought visually it was a great season. I loved the Echo storyline, for instance, which I thought was a really cool storyline about how Echo actually could have had the happy ending and he chose not to. Because he saw the importance of his place within his world. And that, yeah, he kind of stuck to his own morals, I suppose, and to his own values. Dragon will go down to an IP. It'll be a third one for them. That was powerful. I really like that. But they just didn't stick to their guns on the rest of the episode. I also don't like how they just kind of copped out and made Victor the big enemy of Season 2, which I somewhat get it, but it just felt like, oh, this guy is the let's just reduce all of the commentary we had before this to have one big world-ending threat to see everyone's differences be made up. And it's like, no, it doesn't really work like that. You know? Not really. Felt it was a bit of a cop-out, really. Yeah, I think episodes 4, 5, 6 were pretty good. I like the Warwick storyline, the Vander storyline. That was pretty good. At the start of it, I thought that was pretty good on the whole. I also didn't like that Singe got a happy ending. There's questions on that, really. Also, Singe is one of the characters they could absolutely put into different shows. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't do Invasion of Ionia as a storyline. What I really want the League Cinematic Universe to do is do like this whole arc, build up a load of characters and then go into Ruination. Jesus Christ, this Senna does so much damage, still managed to step things out. Braum Shield stops this small. The ultimate Leaf is still auto-attacking. That's a ton of damage, has to pull the ultimate back. The redemption will come through. It's like Leaf didn't take any damage at all. Ovo certainly did, though. Leona hits the ground. NIP will march in towards the base. It's not really been much of a contest from LNG this series, sadly, from them. The 167 stack Senna is just ripping him to shreds. To shreds, you say. What about his wife? Oh, to shreds, you say. Anyone else remember that from Futurama? Yeah, I'm gonna keep making more Futurama references until someone gets them. Leaf takes some more damage. Has some extra lifesteal, though, from his excess stacks from that crit chance. Don't take extra damage when you need to, though. That Smolder can still execute you. Perhaps Smolder can mount some kind of wave clear defense. Quite hard to see it right now, though. Has the fire cannon for some target access. Leaf is healing up so much, though. Look at the amount of damage does to the Renekton as well. The Sterex has popped for just some poke. I mean, there's been some shields denied now by the Serpent's Fang coming in from High Chair. They do have 5 people alive, but they're just getting slowly bled out over their own Nexus. Turret goes down, NIP. They stick around. Jesus Christ, the poke between the AD carries hurts a lot. Braum passive misses onto Zucker that. Importantly so, the Q going wide. The damage again, no Sterex. This poke onto Leaf is not bad. High Chair trying his best. The Braum trying to block up some of that brand damage on the other way through. All it needs is one last skill shot. Doombeat goes golden. He has flash to make his way out of this. Again, the brand, where is the damage? Nyket doing some damage. No, Bo's the first to fall. Passive immune by now going into Zhonya's on the other side. He will live long enough to see himself through to an ultimate just about. And that'll be a triple kill to set it. God, we might get ourselves a Penta, a Quadra. Zucker, no flash, no Sterex. Perhaps a Penta on the table. He's running for his life. That I don't know if he'll be able to deny. The top of all prizes. A stun is not enough. Pentakill to leave. 5 dead. 191 stacks on the setup. Leave caps it off with the greatest of all prizes in League of Legends. Gyos ring out for our top table clash here. It doesn't look like it with AL at 6 and 4, but they are definitely a top team with the way they've been playing recently. They beat BLG convincingly, beat IG convincingly. Now playing up against top esports, and these are our top 4 teams. You have teams like Weibo and JDG, which are a cut below them, and then the bottom tier in Group SN being WE and then FPX below them. These are quite clearly our top 4 teams. Okay, let's get ourselves into things, shall we? Preem. Trading with the Q early. Sometimes you go for the Molten Shield versus heavier auto attackers like Orianna in lane or Victor. In tank up the first trade. And run back at them. But Q spam at level 1, always nice for the extra training, isn't it? Trading. If you can. Bot lane. Hoping Kyle getting some stacks for that Senna. We were saying before about how Leave was so incredibly good at the double tapping and the getting the stacks. He's so much better at getting stacks on Senna than anyone else I've seen in the world right now. Right there. Hope. Ooh, missing that second tap for the Q, actually. Well, Jackalov on his own Kai'Sa skin here. No, anyone's legend beat. Hang on, no. Guys, I was talking about anyone's legend beating BLG convincingly. Anyone's Legends beating them. Top Esports, they did beat BLG, but that wasn't convincing. But I was making sure it was AL that I was talking about with that. Top Esports, you know, they faced up against IG, lost to them in a 2-1. They faced up against BLG, beat them in a 2-1, but that one was all over the place. That was a case of BLG standing for bad late game. Good passive there from Jaculov. Yeah, always a delight to see him back on that IG skin. She won at Worlds, of course, back in 2018. Anything interesting to talk about? Yeah, we can talk about a couple of things, I suppose. This one's quite important here. You'll notice the phase rush on Annie. That's quite important. Allows you to walk away from... Hang on a second. Hung gets the combo into the wall. 2v2. Good passive there from Jaculov. But this is important. You've now used the flash, but look at the HP you've now gained. Big HP advantage in that bot lane. This is an LPL specialty. Using a summoner to get such a crushing HP lead. You hope that you can control the lane. Both supports down their pots. Both of them have some sustain in their kit. It's not the full kill, though, and Hung didn't have Ignite. Realistically, not going to be a kill, but could have been a... hang on a second. Tarzan's going to walk up here. Jaculov will be spotted walking out of that brush. Tarzan knows that he's been spotted. That could be a bit awkward now. Jaculov and Hung use that Alistair ult combo to go forwards, and the flash, of course, too. Not getting as much out of it as they would have wanted. Shank's getting pushed in by Cream. You expect that when the Annie Galio matchup, you take a lot of damage here. But this is a bit, yeah, this is a bit too much from the early lane, actually. You know, getting a full wave ahead as the Annie very early on, that's a problem. Is this rapid fire cannon Kai'Sa angle? I do not think so. I don't think so at all. I think you need to be, you are not going to be able to, yeah. Oh yeah, it was a 2-0 for Top Esports over BLG 2-0. Yep. Sorry, not the 2-1. It was the 2-1 versus IG and the 2-1 versus BLG. My bad, Petrox. Not the 2-1 for Top Esports, was 2-0 over BLG. Main point of this series is that these are two top teams. They played against other top teams recently. Mixed results. I think that AL, probably the best series of results against the top teams right now. Although none of our top teams are looking flawless. Hey, thanks for the stream streak there, Fed. Top Esports has really bad wave clear. If you, I mean, Rapid Fire Cannon doesn't give you better wave clear. I mean, we used to see Static Shiv Kai'Sa for that reason. And getting a, you know... Ult in top side by Flandre. Quickly pushing that in. No objectives for him to fight around on top side of the map. Dragon is up, but typically top laners don't come down to draws dragon fights unless you've got some really nasty skirmishing going on early. W6D2 clearing out as much of that wave as possible. Yorm will get to the point where he'll clear waves fairly effectively. Take some chunk as he walks up to the wave occasionally. Still able to clear them out, fair enough. Later into the game, you can use the one-ult. Hang on a second, Cream. Can you stun him into it? No, that wasn't great from Cream. Just doesn't get much value out of that. Use the W to tank out the next better that combo too. Shanks, I think he's actually still healthy enough to stick around and ult. Just about. Just about. Tarzan starting the dragon. 369. Damaged a lot on this bot side of the map. Navi is on the bot side of the map, not able to do much about it though. Reminder that this was the matchup that we saw in Split 1 playoffs finals. Top Esports destroyed Anyone's Legend in that finals 3-1. A lot of people saying, oh, but Anyone's Legend, they should have gone to the first standing against Top Esports. You didn't see those finals if that was the case. Well, yes, I agree. In retrospect, Anyone's Legend might have had a better tournament. Regionally, Top Esports was so much better than Anyone's Legend at the start of the year. Jump falls onto Knavi. Using that E and the W forwards is E's going to time out soon, actually. He needs to be careful of that. I don't think he's got enough left in the tank. That Rakan's gone way too far. The Galliot's coming in. Catch out Hung, who doesn't have his own ult, only level 5 right now. Good ult coming through for 369. AL have gone way too deep for this. Tarzan needs to carry the fight in terms of damage. Hope is going into melee range as the Senna. That's not a great idea. Tarzan goes down, and I Hope is massively behind enemy lines. And no, it's not a Quinn ultimate. It's just the fate he's been left to. Has flash, has barrier. I don't think it's going to save him. Kyle has teleported in again as the Rakan, but I don't think he's going to be able to do that much. Who are they going to give the kill over to? They want to give it over to Kanavi. Feats of strength earned by Top East was anyone's legend. What was the plan there? We were saying that, you know, start of the year, Top Esports had anyone's Legends number, despite them being great strategists, and we liked the way that they were playing. Let's make no bones about it. Top Esports were outplaying them and largely out-team fighting them. Right here, though, I mean, Kyle goes way too deep. Tarzan then doesn't get close enough for second E to come in. Perhaps, did he already have that down? Kyle, big mistake from him. Jungle support of anyone's Legend are the most important part of anyone's Legend by far. If they're the ones making the mistakes, that is a huge issue. But Tarzan does end up getting, you know, the level 6, getting some good value from the ultimate, I suppose, but... Questions about Kyle's engaged there, about over-investing into that play. One of the biggest problems about anyone's Legend has been them not taking small wins. They have to all in. They don't know when to stop. They will not bail themselves out of plays. Kanavi now 1-0-1. 3-6 now 2-0-1. That's a problem. If the Ornn gets ahead of the Rumble can struggle in this matchup. Now, the Ornn's got surprisingly large battle. I mean, it's not even surprisingly large if you know much about the champions, but... The Ornn stat stopping the Galio dash is insane. 369 is pretty damn good at that whole Ornn thing, the whole poke thing. Flandra not able to join that fight in the last time. Jackulov and Flandra are the only two players not involved in that set of plays. AL, it really isn't a Senna team. Let me just check their win rate on Senna, actually. Let me check their Senna win rate. It's actually Cream dropping the ult again, not actually getting that much done. Doesn't even get through the shield. Okay, Cream, you okay there, buddy? Not sure about that one. Yeah, they're 1-on-1 on Senna in this year. 1-on-1. They've only played it 2 times. Of course, it hasn't been meta during all that time, but yeah. Combo in the mid lane. Cream losing out the trade versus Shanks there. A little bit. Three grubs went over to Top Esports, by the way, somewhere in the chaos of this early game. It's a chaos, not crazy chaos, but you know what I mean. You notice that the early gold from the Ornn has bought them their first item already. They're in a very happy point. That gives you wave clear, gives you great ability to trade against the Rumble. Like, Ornn will be able to hold a wave clear for a very long time now. It's a very good wave clear item. Ghosting. Force the flash out, I hope. Would have been able to get the extended combo into the wall. It's like a fighting game, isn't it? You know, when you get someone to the very end of the map and you get to kind of juggle them into the wall. Heal blown by Hung there. Level 6 is hit across the board. Combo onto Kyle. Senna W lands onto the clone. By the way, you can get souls out of clones, by the way. Weird thing that has some nasty implications. I think you can also get Senna clones from Senna stacks from Alawi tentacle clones as well, I think. Hope at 35 stacks at 11 minutes, not too bad from him. Slower than Leave, but Leave is very, very good at stacking up on that. I feel like anyone's Legends have very low DPS. They're relying on Shin and Rumble to get ahead and to get Senna to late game. I agree with that. I think that the Rumble is often enough damage to make the difference. But this is not a damaging Galio build. The Shinzao is currently 0-1. And yeah, the Senna Doesn't deal very well with stuff like the Ornn either. The more I think about it, I think that top Esports come away with this. A very comfortable front-to-back draft. Now, they have the Kai'Sa and the Wukong as a secondary carry. Dragon goes over to top Esports. I am quite worried by anyone's Legend if they go later. I think that early game's not bad, you know. One-item team fights for this team probably aren't too bad. What comes in 369? Wants to wave clear out. Doesn't know if he's going to be collapsed on. Quick wave clear. Dive onto the bot side. Center ult gets a bit of a shield. This is a bit far from top Esports, you have to wonder. Hung will use the duration of his ultimate very well. Now Jackalow left under the mid lane. When Becomes Lightning happens, the charm, the knock-up, the death. Tarzan gets on the board. Jackalow uses his everything, really, and can't make it out alive. Doesn't use his ult, actually. CC'd at the end of that. Goes down very, very easily. Shanks survives with the help of the center ultimate on the other side of the map. Better macro from a better response to the dives from anyone's Legend. Good center ult, global power. Very valuable there for anyone's Legend. Top Esports lose their first death of the game. Top Esports should still get first turret of the game, though, with 3 grubs down here. And they'll get themselves the feats of strength. Kanavi also getting gold on top of that is a problem. Kanavi, I think for once, has not been the MVP of his team, you know? I think MVP for this split actually goes to Jackalow. I know he just died in that mid lane, but if you go and watch Jackalow's games, he has been on a tear. I think my short list for MVPs this split have been, hang on a second, jolt forwards. Hope doesn't have flash, has barrier. I don't think it's going to save him. Kill for Jackalow. He'll have just enough HP to get out from under turret. Tarzan, no flash himself now. Clean kill. A wave lost for the center and mid lane. A cannon wave too. That's a problem. Do not want the center dropping too much gold. Tarzan will get it. He's not unhappy with that himself, but center losing that is a bit of an issue there for anyone's Legend. Good combo in from Hung. Ooh, Cream going onto the side lane. Flandre does have flash. Does he have enough to get himself to the next shield? Nope. Q from Cream will see him to his grave. Tarzan trying to walk towards Cream. No flash from Cream now himself. Stun lands onto him. Malignus will start to burn from Yanni Tibbers. Kyle does have the quickness, but they can't finish off the kill. Top Esports, 2 great picks in a row onto different lanes in mid lane and in bot lane. 2 pushed up were Tarzan and Hope respectively. So what's the next step? 1,000 gold lead for 369, by the way. Keep your eyes on this. That's nasty stuff. 1,000 gold in mid lane as well. Now, 369 is very, very happy. Keep an eye on this level mark as well, level 11. If that gets to level 14 and above, of course, you start giving those items out. The fact that he has good XP, and you look at that compared to the level 10 of Flandre, XP lead is something that top Esports can play around a little. Now, Flandre's Rumble has been very good in the past, but Flandre, he's not someone who plays for individual advantage that much through laning phase. So he does when he has the Yorick, but it's not really his specialty. Fight around the Herald now, potentially. Hung on a good angle. Doesn't have flash, does have ult. Shanks has ult too. 369 can ult to disengage or engage as he likes. Do we have a full team commit here? Jackalow on the angle. Doesn't have flash, does have ults. Hope also, crucially, does not have that summoner quite yet on this side. Look at that. That's quite important. Perhaps they can punish the flashless Senate. Whereas the Ornn trying to come in on the angle, trying to rake it across the team. Broadside, I suppose, actually, it's going down the side of them. Where is that Ornn ult? They're spoiling for a fight. They should look for it. Hung. Combo only onto the Rakan. Good damage falling up from the Annie. Herald secured. Kyle, good damage onto him, but he's not really the focus here. Kanavi into the backline. That's a little bit more threatening. Hope does land that root. It'll end up being 2 kills to top Esports. They don't end up killing Hope. They do end up getting Tarzan and Flandre. They remember top Esports have 3 grubs as well, despite the fact that the Herald goes down, because they're the winners of the fight and they manage to take so much health off of the side of anyone's Legend, they can walk up and hit towers. 3 grubs makes that valuable. 369 will take top lane turret pretty quickly, actually, as well. No one's teleporting up to save it. That should be a top lane outer turret going down fairly quickly. Yep, there you go. Top Esports lose the Herald, but get the kills and they get the turret. Herald is often a promise of a turret in the future, and it likely will be this mid lane outer turret. That's good. Top Esports, they don't need a promise of a future turret. They take one right now. Top Esports getting the better out of that play. I heard a crying baby, and I wasn't sure if it's in-game from the outside. It's the Rumble dying. That Rumble dying is so loud, and it does disturb me. Jackalow managed to get some great damage onto Tarzan, whose Crescent Guard did not get any value. And worth noting, by the way, sorry, I said, oh, the Herald is a choice, it's a promise of a future turret. they don't even get the Herald. So that's not even true. So Annual's Legend, they died for the promise of a future turret, which wasn't even upkept. They kill the objective, don't get to pick it up. They lose 2 on the exit, and they lose a tower on top side. Anyone's Legend have been brutalized by top esports recently. Shanks says, got no flash, does get the phase rush, but loses over half of his HP. See how top esports, they're grouping up to move in to the bot side of the map, put down wards down here. This ward was left over from the Herald fight. Now they have this wonderful vision line, just making sure that they see everything along these lines. Makes it very easy to attack this turret. Makes it much easier to go in there. Now this vision line here was very important. They'll need to upkeep that. They've now just got it in the bot side instead. Go towards that dragon. Easy take for top esports, giving themselves options. Anyone's Legend have to commit multiple members in towards that mid lane turret defense. Now, the reason why Shanks lost half his HP there is because he felt like he needed to be around mid lane. With Jackalope having Q upgrade now, makes it even easier. 369 will actually miss that ward, by the way, with the Scryer's Bloom. Again, look how many members they need to push mid lane to defend the turret. Tarzan stacking up his Q. Might be able to get something in there. Hung has himself an ultimate. Jesus, Cyclone is inclement weather. Decent CC under turret, but I don't think it's enough because the turret has died now. Hung, Kanavi, get out with enough HP. 369 flashing out as well, and there's no extra follow-up, I don't think. An Electro Harpoon would be the last thing they could use. Tarzan could flash forward. I don't think he's in range to get that much done. Top esports get themselves another kill onto Kyle, who's had a bit of a rough game so far. Wave clear under turret. 369 will get enough out of that with the Bellows Breath and the Hollow Radiance. Jackalope with the Q upgrade helping out of 2, of course. I was wondering if there would be a flash forward there. We're going on to an Alistair with flash. Perhaps not the choice. Second dragon for top esports on a Mount Sol is nasty as hell. Aggro taken by... who's it taken by? It's taken by Cream, unfortunately, there, actually. Goes a little bit awry. But they end up killing the turret. A lot of teams forget you can kill the turret midway through a fight. That actually can work. Crescent Guard is better from Tarzan this time. 369... forced the flash out. Yes, it's tanky. Not quite that tanky yet. By the way, 302, 2,000 gold up. And say it with me. Top diff. Look at that. That's insane. Look at that gold advantage. And 369 is going to be so hard to kill because who's killing Ornn? No, this is not a tank killer build. This is not going to do that well. Now, 55 souls is okay. That's fine, but it's not leave levels, you know. This is not damage Galio. This is Hollow Radiance. You might get a Black Cleaver coming in at some point from Tarzan. He might need it, but he doesn't want to do that because he's got double AP solo laners. No, a Black Cleaver does not buff up these 2 champions. Not really. I think top esports, if they just play around strong front to back, they're very disruptive, very annoying, weirdly high damage frontline. Now, another thing too is that if you lead with the Ornn ult, get the mark down, Kanavi gets the Cyclone, you're going to get multiple Brittle procs, instant procs. It's like a... Remember that the Brittle proc increases duration of CC. It technically increases the duration of the knock-up from your Cyclone. So one thing in the game which will increase the duration of CC Brittle is basically anti-tenacity. It also works on knockups, which Merc Treads don't deny. Speaking of Merc Treads, you can see that there are 4 of them across the board from Annual's Legend. I just don't think it's enough. Not against 369 and the Wukong. Flash forward, Kyle gets out this time. Summoners pop from both of them. Atakan time again. Cream lands some damage onto Tarzan. Doesn't want to want much to one-shot, just wants to make sure he's out of position to contest. Flash over and he steals it! Tarzan has enough HP to steal it, and perhaps it is an intercard angle after all. The equalizer is strong. Kanavi goes low and goes down. Hung will be next. It is an int Atakan yet again. Objective goes over. Kills go over. 369. Your team has rolled natural ones. Top esports lose the objective, and they lose 3 kills on the outro. God damn it, this objective claims another game. Anyone's Legend! How does it happen? They just fight this objective better. A great flash in for Tarzan. For the steal. This objective is where games go to die. Top esports, how have you done that? We'll go back to a replay to watch the horror show again. Atacon goes low. The Ornal is meant to deny them access into the pit. The center ult does damage across it. When becomes lightning, it gets smoked for 1500 HP. Both junglers end up smiting. It's Tarzan who gets it. The equalizer then goes on to top esports. I think top esports were so committed to taking the Atacon, they positioned poorly for the fight afterwards. No, they get hit by the equalizer. They're not ready for an engage or an engage, really. So Jackalev doesn't ult into the backline. I think there was an angle for Jackalev to ult in and kill, but I don't think top esports are ready for it. Oh, LPL Atacon is so shit. We are, as a region, we are so bad at setting up for this objective. No, they didn't hold the choke point well enough. They rushed it a little too much. This is the problem with the Atacon. Sometimes you need to pull it back to the other side. Make sure that the there's a little bit of distance between the choke point and the Atacon take itself. I think they could have done that. Dragon will get taken by top esports. They will be on soul point. This is still good for top esports. I suppose they're still in the lead. I think they scale. But they have given over a nasty Atacon. Ornn going in for the ult. Hope does not have much defensive ability on this. The Galio coming forwards, and maybe the Galio can provide that for him. Kanavi does not get his man. He goes down. Instead, they don't reach the carries. 1-for-1 right now. Hun going in for triple knockup. Is it enough? Ornn gets a knockup, and Jackalev starts to fly in. Tarzan is melee ranging it, though, and perhaps Jackalev has gone too far himself. He's gone down. Jackalev dies looking for the assassination, and Anyone's Legend take 2 fights back-to-back. 4-for-1, Cream the only survivor. Perhaps not even that. Torn just shy. Shanks trying to chase down. Final kill. I don't think he'll be able to do so. Turret is falling, and Anyone's Legend clutch it out around the Atacon and around the mid lane. Top esports have thrown this game into the abyss with Atacon and that mid lane engage. Couldn't quite get onto the flash the center. So often an easy target to shut down. Not this time. And Jackalev flying into melee range. Melee range of the jungler. Kanavi flew through, but couldn't quite get himself the Cyclone because the ult came through from the Rakan. CC'd, couldn't get the clean Cyclone combo. Kanavi, a rare poor fight from him. So often been clean team fighter, and then Jackalev flies in to try and assassinate Hope, but instead goes into the waiting arms of the Xin Zhao, goes down very easily. Jackalev, he's been on an MVP caliber split himself, but that was a poor fight from him. Top esports, I think they're panicked now. They're flustered. Not sure they know what to do next. They can fight around the next dragon, of course, look for Mountain Soul Point, but this shouldn't be how the game goes. This shouldn't be how it goes at all. They were in such a big lead. Apparently there's some Nymaera bug fixes coming in on the next patch, by the way. 4.17. Bounces from Hurricane to the primary attack target have on-hit damage properly reduced. Apparently that wasn't the case now before. Hurricane targets no longer have reduced on-hit effectiveness. That's interesting. And the Kraken should no longer stack additional times for bounces and won't randomly skip doing damage on bounces. That's good. So hopefully that's a little bit of power off of Nymaera. It's a little bit strong right now. AP cog buffs next patch. I don't think people remember the Season 5, Season 6 AP cog buffs, so that was kind of busted. Flandra does not have flash. Jackal flies into the side lane. Kaiser in the side lane, powerful. Decent damage though. The Equalizer and the Sentinel doing a hell of a lot. Teleport's coming in. That Rumble, stop screaming. You will respawn in a minute. It's fine. Just take like take some time out on the naughty step. Kanavi no flash himself. Comboed up by the jungle support of AL. The engine room of Anyone's Legend rolling, and it takes Kanavi apart. The one-man army needs reinforcements. Goes down easily to Anyone's Legend. I'm just... Rumble's screaming. It's distressing. It's genuinely quite a distressing scream. I don't know how to say it. Well, I did. It's distressing I say that. Jungler down. Despite Flandre dying on the side lane, Anyone's Legend take an easy kill onto the Smite of Top Esports, and they'll go towards Baron. If they take the Baron, they can fight towards the Dragon in a minute easier. This is a huge, crucial strategic win for Anyone's Legend if they can get it. Top Esports, they don't have the call of the Forge God. They're trying to fly forwards onto the Galio. Instead, on the other side, 369 has jumped onto Tarzan. You do not win that. He is taking a ton of damage, and the fight is not going well for Anyone's Legend. Jackalov doesn't have his ult fall into the play. Lots of ults missing from the last couple of picks around the fight. Flying in is Tarzan, but his Top Esports firing back. 2 kills. They take down the Smite now, and now Anyone's Legend might have thrown the game into favor of Top Esports. Jungler dead, Baron available, Dragon up in 50 seconds. Kanavi has come back alive. They have their Smite. Anyone's Legend take a winning play and throw it into the abyss themselves. It's a Game of Thrones, and we don't even need a Song of Ice and Fire. We've just got ourselves a Baron and a Dragon. That'll be a dance enough for us. Top Esports will take the big objective. They need to reset quickly, though, to get back for what should be a soul fight for themselves. That being said, they could give up a Dragon. It's not like Anyone's Legends are threatening that themselves. Top Esports take a huge victory after Anyone's Legend overforce. The brittle procs, the multi-combos, the Annie onto Tarzan sees him out of the fights, and sadly Hope is not that great DPS onto the likes of an ulting Alistair and the Ornn frontline. Tarzan jumps in again, and Cream and Jackalov destroy them. Kyle can't quite catch Jackalov. He flashes out of that knockup. Rumble, stop going, nah. I am so sick of that sound. I am so sick of it. Oh. Flandre, level 15, not level 16. 369 close to that one on the other side. Level 16 is not quite hit yet. Can't quite get it for this play. Dragon spawning. Top Esports. Mountain Soul for them. Navi damaging it. Anyone's Legend fighting towards the front to back. Flash for Kanavi. Very important. That Flash Cyclone could get on towards that Senna. Senna has flashed themselves, but Senna is hit. I think it's don't tend to go too well for them. Is there a flank angle being looked for? No, not currently. I mean, Shanks and Cream, yes, to an extent, but they're just kind of holding each other to account here. Ornn comes in. Stun used from Cream, worth noting. Hope takes a boatload of damage, but it's Kyle that goes down. First, Jarvi, flash into the backline. Hope has a little bit of health. The shield keeps him alive for a little longer, but not enough to stop himself dying to the triple kill, quadra kill, Kaiser of Jackalov. Flies into the backline like a man on leash, and the second skin does all the damage they need. Top Beast will sign themselves a fight, and they don't even need to kill the Dragon. They'll push in through the mid lane. In a turret will fall. Top Esports will take at least the inhibitor with 3 grubs and 5 alive. I think they'll just end the game. Who needs a Mountain Soul? The Nexus is what wins you the game. Top Esports, an Intercard side, will win game 1. Anyone's Legend blasted in the late game against Top Esports, who scale up, kill the Senna. Hope could not stand and fight. Top Esports flash the emotes, and we'll take game 1. Into game we go, finally. Let's get ourselves into it. Just need to make sure we get ourselves through this one event. Should be fine. Yeah, there's Gyos. Yeah, Moises, it was wrong pick order. Basically what happened was, Rel was in mid lane, Aatrox was in support. They couldn't switch their picks. So if you listen to what we've been saying, it's not wrong picks, it's the wrong pick order. So different people had the wrong champions. They weren't able to switch their champions in time, it would seem, so they've remade the draft to make sure that they get the right picks. Jackalov is playing the new Corki skin, by the way. The Chicken Jackie. Oh my god. Chicken Jackie. Oh. The things we discover here in League of Legends. 400 and Tarzan spotted on the top side. No, Chicken Jackie. That's the joke. No, okay, wait, I'll enunciate that later. Jackalov getting a good trade here with the early Gatling gun. Rend on the other side is nice, but HP taken off of an AD carry matters more. Then on to support. Jackalov taking some decent damage. They flip back. Hope getting some great damage back now himself, though. Jackalov has nothing down, and the Chicken Jackie goes down. Hope skewers him, makes him into kebabs. Only the level 1. One more auto attack needed. Will be able to get things back. 1 for 1, but the kill goes towards support. The lane is in an awful state for top esports. As they, top esports. The wave is gonna be hard to push into the turret. I think Kyle can hold this wave entirely here. This is awful for top esports. Look where that wave is. They're already going to be down CS. Yeah, a little bit. They're going to be down so much XP. I'm going to get some damage down there in the mid lane. Kanavi might be able to flag drag onto Shanks, but he's not able to even do that. Shanks can even trade back onto him. Takes a chunk of the HP. Who has the better draft? I missed it. For me, I think Anyone's Legend have the much better draft. Top esports, they have some good early power, but particularly now losing the early kill in the bot lane and losing it like this, now things are screwed. Top esports are playing through early power, good laning phase, then hopefully able to use that to create aggressive dive combinations with multiple flanks. You've lost the early kill in bot lane, that's a problem. Anyone's Legend, if they manage to play around strong 5v5s later, they have a much better front line, they have much better protection for their back line. And while top esports do have good damage, on the other side, you know what happens if Vi Orianna goes on to the Corki, goes on to the Aatrox, he tries to flank, pretty much team fight over. Oh yeah, let's ask Kites in chat who's winning, because they have incredible curse potential. So the crash down, oh my god, the Corki is so loud. Oh my god, stop it. You are so loud. You know what? You were removed from... No, I'm sorry. You were removed from having audio privileges just 1 second. Oh my god, it is so loud. Fine, we'll add it back in now. It still keeps going. Why is it not stopped? The Corki is dead. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, whatever. He's on it again. Shut up for 1 second. They must kill him for the sake of our eardrums. Kyle has himself the bailout and will be able to revive. Tarzan goes down. Bad tower aggro juggling. Top esports get themselves 2 in the bot side dive. Oh, God, that Gatling gun is so loud. I'm going to have to turn down... I'm going to turn down the volume just in case he comes on screen again. Oh, Jesus, these yodels are so loud. The rumble now, the Corki. God forbid we want to have a game without suffering from tinnitus. Jeez. Okay, let's settle in. Kanavi gets a camp steal away. Tarzan died on the bot side of the map, which means that Kanavi can get in for that camp steal. Did he get... He got topside scuttle. He gets a Gromp. He'll get himself his Krugs. His first back of the game is going to be pretty good. Like, Tarzan is going to be able to get it. He did get that tunneler on the first back, just to kill gold. What happens here, then? Oh, thank God, it's slightly less loud now. Jekyll jump forwards, gets himself away from Tarzan. Ren comes through. But the kill goes onto Jekyll, onto Kyle. And Tarzan retakes aggro, which is a problem for him. I guess it was the red buff which took aggro from there. Chinese League is very interesting how they kill each other at every moment. That's one of the reasons we love the LPL noises. That's one of the reasons we love it. Anyway, I'll buy it. Yeah, Top Esports is winning this one. So, everyone, we now know that Anyone's Legend will win this game. Okay. Hun can run the back of mid lane. Can he force the flash? I don't know. Nah, Cream's not really in position to follow up. Needs to get that farm from under turret. Loses a little bit of HP. Cream will be happy to take the HP advantage. I'm not a curse. It's not real. I'm not saying anything of the sort. I am actually completely. Q out of Fog of War, full charge onto that. One of the nasty things about Sion is that he can just chunk you out of Fog of War and things go really, really badly. LPL's been cooking lately. Yeah, but I think this one's like overcooked, where people are just like throwing salmon across the kitchen. They're trying to cook something on a hot air balloon. It's very, very difficult. It might look fun, but is it actually good? Hang on. The ult's not great from Flandre. Said. Hang on a second. Flutter might just die here. The ult from Cream will be able to get CM out. The shockwave's not fantastic. There is a dead Sion trying to get things through. And somehow, Cream not only gets the kill, but he gets the dragon as well. Cream will have to clean up another one. It's a double kill to the Akali. Kanavi goes down, but they get themselves 2 kills and the dragon. Cream even gets himself a couple of ultimate hunter stacks from this reminder as well, because he's going for the thing. He has the thingy runes, electrocute. I presume he's gone for ult hunter. Might be the treasure hunter for the extra gold, but you'd imagine it's the ult cooldown. Top esports, they need that early plays. That's pretty good for them, all things said and done. Flandre, really bad entry into that fight, and also the shockwave from Shanks did not get any value. Not really. The ult splits the uprights, gets a little bit of damage onto Cream, but not that much. The flag drag gets some good value. Cream gets out of distance. Like the way that he uses his R and his E in different parts. What happens out here? Na'Vi. Oh, the 5-point strike ends up getting it. Sign ends up getting the kill onto Na'Vi there in the backside. If that jump falls onto Hope, forces the flash out. Nicholas loses most of the HP. What's Hope's win rate on the Kalista? I can have a check, Jeep. I can have a check. Across this year, you know, funnily enough, let's have a look across the entire year. Let's have a look across the entire year. He is 100% win rate this year on Kalista, 5-0. They haven't played it in this split so far. Where's the center, actually? Center's 50-50, 2-2. Might have just gone up to 3-2 with that last game. I'm not sure if the stats have updated. But he's 5-0 so far on the Kalista this year. Hope and Kyle have been very good around playing through win conditions through bot lane on the whole. That being said, I think Hope's most impressive champion has been his Kai'Sa by far. What's his Kai'Sa winner across the year? 65% over 20 games. That's actually very high considering a lot of them are international as well and in finals and the like. Fights over the grubs. Oh, the anti-synergy. Oh, the anti-synergy is horrid. Handshake out of the combo. Tarzan will die. A dunk onto the backline. Creep tries to get onto Hope. How much damage has he realistically got left though? Waiting for cooldowns. Gets a little bit onto Hope. Surely that should have been an easy kill for anyone's legend, but the handshake out of the path of that Q was horrid. 2 grubs for top esports. Won't stick around for a third. Anyone's legend. The teamfight execution has not been there in these skirmishes, I suppose, rather than team fights. God damn. Poorly played in the last few fights. Flandra splitting the uprights. Kyle stopping the Vi Q from landing. Nasty. Oh god, the Corky Gatling comes back with Avengers. Ah, this is just comedy of errors. Everyone misses everything. The Renata ult does actually go pretty well there. Shockwave, not the best again. Splits up the team. Thank God the replay ends because the Gatling gun ends. Shanks doesn't have flash. He's dead. He's going to die here. Goes over to Jackie-Love. 3 kills on Cream. Now 2 kills on Jackie-Love. If you look at the full carries of top esports, this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 kills on Jackie-Love. I'll have you know, by the way, I was very accurate on my predictions last week, in the good or the negative way, right? Oh my god. It is a joke. If you'd like me to stop, I will stop. Blue buff taken away by Tarzan. What happened here? Ah, flash away from the flag drag of Kanavi, who has been everywhere in this early game. Hasn't got the kills, but ton of assists. In the good way. Okay, all right. I'm going to be asking in the post-match thread if they still think anyone's legend is better than IG. You know what? There's some logic to that. That's why the top of the table of LPL is so entertaining right now. All of the top 4 teams have actually had very close or flippy or inconsistent series against each other, which means it's very hard to... You can basically headcanon your own top 4. Now, what's the top 4 right now? Oh god, that's really hard. I think it's probably top esports at 1? Doesn't really sound convincing though, does it? Then I think BLG are 4th, you know? I think they've fallen out of the top 3. Flash away from Kanavi. Doesn't have the flag drag. Will he be forced to flash and turn? Yes, he does. Flashes away from it. Ulted onto 369's around. The Aatrox is not doing bad here, but the Shockwave has taken down Kanavi already. It's 4v2 now. Ult out from the Akali. What's happening on the rest of the map? There might be a dive onto Hope on the other side. Instead, actually, Hung putting down vision on the bot side. Good shockwave from Shanks this time. Can he get onto Hope? He doesn't have flash, does have barrier. Hung, what he can do is wait until the barrier is used and then break it with his Q. 369's in a bit of trouble now. There's no flash from Tarzan. Means he couldn't connect with that Q cleanly. 369 blows this easily. Kyle finds out Hung. They find out each other, really. Handshake. That's a lot of damage very, very quickly. Hope has the bailouts on him. Kyle standing and fighting. 369 getting hit by the Q this time, and he's just overstayed. Why have you overstayed like that, 369? Poor stuff from him on the Aatrox. He's had a couple of poor games on it this split, and this is what I don't like about the Aatrox. You get behind the game. He's down by 1,000 gold. The Aatrox feels useless. Top esports will get themselves their second dragon, it looks like. I don't think that'll be contested. Nope, not with Tarzan on the top side of the map. Wait, the top... Wait. You're saying the top 4 are IG, the Shy, Rookie, Gala. So you're not even listing other teams. We're just listing IG players now. All right. Good to know. IG's most recent stinker was their third most recent series. That's fair. Yeah. That being said, I don't think the BLG series was convincing. Blast in that second game. The third game was a bit of a gift. The first game was a bad late game as well. Oritzina, hey, good to see you. Long time no see. One of the more frequent Redditors. Run into their name a fair amount. Thanks for following. So, top esports have themselves a minor gold lead. I don't think that's enough, honestly. Oh, well, what about your list? Your list... Wait, your top 4 LPL teams are Anyone's Legend, Bro, FlyQuest, and Poby. Okay, well, it's certainly entertaining. Creative. Creative, you know? Anyone else got any top 4 lists they want to put out into the ether? Jackalov jumping forwards, jumping over the command attack. Blue buff, started by Tarzan, invaded onto. Can he kill this in time? Smite from Tarzan, he gets it. Tarvi didn't smite away. Jump onto Shanks. He doesn't have flash right now. Tarzan can jump over the wall, and there's a redemption to help things as well. I don't think it's enough, though. The redemption might help. Where is that all? Flash forward. Jackalov flashes away. Doesn't have to cleanse out. It's going to get him to be a real mess, though. Tarzan gets one last Q. Cream getting damage on the backside of it. Hope. How much HP has he got left? Flash forwards from Cream, and that will be the end of the Kalista. Top esports clean up. How many kills back-to-back? 4 for 1 right now. Flandra walks in, but he's too late to the party. He wasn't invited, I assume. Just have to clean up the red cups after it. Top esports get themselves a huge, monolithic fight on the top side. Green will stick around to clear out this mid-wave. Awesome reactions from Jackalov. Hard to avoid a Renata ult flash. Did manage to do so anyway. If he was caught in there, I think that fight goes completely differently. By the way, Cream has 10 Dark Seal stacks. Holy moly. The only thing I hate about Jackalov is the fact that he's playing the Corki with a really loud E sound. Gets Shockwave, has the barrier. This is the impressive bit coming right up. Great flash away. Knows he can just about get out in time. Using the move speed of Phage. Get out of there. And then the Aatrox gets some kill anticipation as well. Some split kills. A kill to each of the carries. Top esports get away with a huge fight in the top side jungle. That Triforce with the Phage passive really helping Jackalov there. I'm actually not sure he'd get out of that Renata roll without the move speed, you know. Not sure. Not sure. Tarzan needed to ult Corki into Renata ult. Yes, but he also needed to ult over the wall to get auto attacks down. I think it was right for him to get in there. Because remember, he ulted him into the Shockwave. And it also meant that he could be on the other side of the wall auto attacking. Vi's Q had just been used. Didn't have another way over the wall. I think what you can arguably say is -1 Jackalov. We saw him miss that cannon there. Teleports in. Herald available. Anyone's Legend. I think they'd still rather fight around objectives. Play around a front to back. But, you know, Shanks is he's gone for Rod of Ages. Which I think is a problem in this game. I know you have to deal with a lot of damage, but you have a frontline. Trust in your frontline to keep you alive. He's also down 1,000 gold. Shanks is not going to do that much damage. Has the level 11. Can he get much value out of that? Flag drag not hitting from Kanavi. Ultimate comes through. Where's that Shockwave? Doesn't need it right now. Cream gets an awesome angle into the backline. The Shanks Shockwave buys time, but is it enough? No, not just yet. Both the carries down from Annual's Legend. Where is their damage? A little bit from Tarzan. That'll help. They managed to take down Cream. 2 for 2 as it stands with the smite going down for top esports. Tarzan is Q. Just about gets him out to safety. Kanavi dying. Means that top esports can't cleanly take the Herald. It's a 2 for 2, but you can see the awesome angle from Cream. Puts AL into disarray. The Shockwave very nearly buying space and time for Anyone's Legend, but it's a Rod of Ages. 1,000 gold deficit Orianna. It's not really the game-changing Shockwave. We currently have, folks, 21 kills in 16.5 minutes. These teams have thrown themselves against the wall. The Duality music video. Anyone can see. Desecration, Martyr, and me. That's a different song. That's actually psychosocial. That's fine. It's fine. We'll try Slipknot a little later. Awesome CC combo onto Kanavi. Goes down. But Cream, great angle into the backline. Even the Shockwave doesn't really do enough. Maybe if it was a little bit more fed, different items, perhaps it would make a difference. Not quite. Tarzan flashes over the Aatrox to stop the body block. It's an 800 gold shutdown from that, by the way. Cream losing the Dark Seal stacks. Fairly relevant, actually. Herald will go down to anyone's legend. Feats of strength already in for top is what's worth noting. That's important. There are some really important boots they can get for that. The different boots with the shields on them are quite nice. The percent pen ones from Cream are really, really nice to see him over to the 2 items. You get those boots in. It's actually really nice for that. Cream's going to get himself first turret in this bot side. Herald goes into mid lane. Will kill off the entire turret. Top esports, they don't have an easy defense to this, actually. Not the best wave clear from their team. Herald will die. Even with the 1 grub, they'll be able to take this turret. The turret for turret trade. Mid lane outer is, of course, the more important one. 369 pushing in towards top side. They have 2 grubs. Do they have Demolish? Yes, he does. So he'll take this as well. 2 for 1 in the turret trade now. 369 didn't push up initially because he didn't want to get caught out overstaying. He's managed to close the gold deficit a little bit in his lane through the last couple of fights in the turrets. He doesn't see Shanks here. Fire's coming up. He does need to back off. Tarzan heading up. Dragon taken by Top Esports. Early soul point for Top Esports. I think the macro from Top Esports is better at this point. They see the Herald coming through. They know they won't be able to get a clean fight off of it, though. Or at least they avoid it. Don't necessarily know. Get 2 side lane turrets, get Dragon. Anyone's Legend trying to pick up some jungle camps to, again, be even up their side of the trade deal a little bit easier. They take that down. Push up towards the top lane now. Shanks staying in top lane. So, okay. Lots of macro happening. Lots of trades back and forth. Both these teams willing to take bits and pieces across the map. So it is, in total, mid lane and top lane outer turret to anyone's Legend. It is top lane and bot lane outer turrets to Top Esports. But they also get a Dragon on top of that too. Top Esports, I suppose giving gold individually to solo laners, whereas the mid lane outer turret from anyone's Legend was split between members. The actual gold value, I think, is better on Top Esports, but mid lane outer turrets is strategically a better turret to take. You can see that it's actually quite a close trade, all things said and done. However, the Dragon soul point for Top Esports, their 3rd Dragon, will be a macro tool which Top Esports can use very, very soon. Callista without Dragons really sucks. Callista really wants to be getting Dragons early, but, you know, the Callista is 1,000 gold behind. Gonna really struggle to survive through the diving pair of the Jarvan and this incredibly fair Akali. Perhaps Atakan can come to anyone's Legends rescue again. Very nearly won them that last game. Not quite. Not quite. But Atakan has been where LPL teams have struggled the most. The team which takes the Atakan, I feel just loses the game. I really don't like. Now, Atakan has been played by LPL teams. We've had this talk on stream a little bit before recently, but LPL does not adapt well to new objectives. Whether that was the change from 1 Herald to 2 Heralds, or from Heralds to Grubs, all the way from 2 Grub spawns to 1 Grub spawns. LPL has struggled with each of these early game objective changes. Carl jumps onto, Handshake not able to stop the combo. Anything changing after that? No, just a little bit of HP off. Really leading to too much. So didn't IG just lose this game with, by picking Callista? IG is probably the best of 5 team right now in LPL. I think IG are definitely the team that can bounce back from humiliating losses the best. Because they just like, yep, we entered, we'll go again. I appreciate that. I actually do genuinely appreciate that. None of our top teams are immune to inting. Cream's on a great angle here. It's Atakan time again, folks. Start your stopwatches and see if it's time of death. 369 takes weapon the guys. Please peel off of this Atakan. Please, Top Esports, don't do this to us again. 369 took way too much damage from this. But now, guys, you're tanking it again. Top lane wave getting interrupted. Tarzan jumping into the brush. They're corralling themselves. But they don't have HP on the Aatrox. Aatrox took too much damage from the Atakan. Jumping in now, trying to get onto that. Kyle, support. Not able to reposition that well. The ultimate from Renata not fantastic. And Ricard, the Aatrox goes straight into the play. Hope is pulled back a metric mile. But the Aatrox W is pulled back into his demise. It is a bloodbath. Top Esports lose 3, but Jackal and 369 survive. Tarzan and Flandra live. 3 for 3. The Atakan with no clear victor, no smite for Top Esports to secure the objective. I said, oh man, the Rakan, he's going to be the one pinging into the fight. Flubbed a couple of words there. Jesus. 3 for 3. This is why we're afraid of the Atakan. This is why we're afraid of it. That's why I said Aatrox, not the Rakan. I was like, no, I can't just say that. Blood. There's no Rakan on the bloody map, is there? Kyle gets blitz. And even though the Aatrox is quite low HP, manages to fight back very effectively. The Renata ultimate is not that valuable, and 369 flashes in for a huge Q. Cream goes wild. How does he get burst out so effectively? I mean, Hope actually gets damage, so that's fine. The Bale comes to that stats. 3 for 4? Sorry, the Scion died. 3 for 4. Yep, Flandra died. Yep, 3 for 4. Messy, because Scion doesn't turn up as a death until his passive dies, so I just quickly scan on the side, just to see if I can say something timely. Now we'll be trading, hang on, trading Atakan for mid lane turret. Now, top esports are okay with this if they can get the dragon in 40 seconds. What they want to do is give up Atakan, push in mid lane, push in bot lane, and get better setup for this next objective. If they get Mountain Soul, they don't care about giving up the Atakan. Sion's ulting to get into position. There's only 30 seconds left on the dragon setup. Anyone's Legend are behind on the dragon setup. They have no vision on bot side. They must push out. They must get in position for this. Using that Sion ultimate removes them as an important tool in the team fight, though. I wonder if that's a mistake. I wonder if that's a huge mistake. Top East will still have great vision control. They have Flash on Jaculov. Hope does not have that. Jaculov, if he flashes well, might be the difference. If they collapse on 369, please don't get caught like this. He has that passive down, has the Sun Disguise while pops the ult quickly. They manage to go onto Kyle again. He has no flash, and that's not a bad shockwave. The jungler's down. Top East must cleanly close the fight now. They've lost their smite. They must win the fight. Tarzan goes in for an ult. The Aatrox getting lower. He'll die as well. The Atakan getting decent value through there as well. But Hope is down as well. They have no DPS. Jaculov, he has flash. He has barrier. He can keep jumping forwards. There's no damage on this Orianna. And Jaculov rules the field. Anyone's Legend will lose the Mountain Soul despite killing the smite. Top Esports will win the fight because Anyone's Legend delayed their setup. They took the Atakan and were not prepared on the bot side of the fight. Top Esports, better macro, better decision making around the big objectives. You can see how Anyone's Legend were not prepared for that fight on bot side. They tried for a quick snatch and grab at Aatrox. They get engaged onto. Top Esports made the correct decision to give Atakan to win the soul. Jaculov not even needing to use the flash in that play. This was a macro fight in the last minute or so. And I really think it was a bad decision for Shanks to go towards this Rod of Ages as well. Once Hope dies, Shanks just does not have the damage. Good knock up onto Kyle, who didn't have the best ability to reset. Goes down very, very easily. The Renata ultimate not even used. Kanavi trading his life saying, I will die to make sure that the Renata ultimate doesn't win the fight. And as soon as Hope is dead, where's your damage? Jaculov just gets to jump forwards, has barrier, has himself the upgraded steel caps as well, by the way. We said those feats of strength are important for them. They can fully off a little bit more damage. And they win the fight easily. Good macro from Top Esports around that last play. Kyle getting caught. Kyle's had a bad series, folks. Compared to what we know from Kyle, this is a poor showing. Anyone's Legend so often win games entirely through jungle support. I don't think Tarzan's had a bad series per se, but I do think Kyle has now. Caught out way too many times on the Rakan. Way too many times on the Renata now too. 1 and 4, but all of those 4 deaths are in important moments, I feel. Most of them have been anyway. ADC to get gap is so hard to do. Yeah, I think that Hope has been destroyed by Jaculov in this game. And there are good reasons why, when I look at MVP candidates for this split, I think about Jaculov. Jump in from Hung. Just to jump onto Corki on the other side, though. He still has flash, and there's just no follow-up. The shockwave does not land well enough onto him. Decent damage, but can they kill him? I don't think so. Top Esports with the Mountain Soul are just too tanky. Extra shields. Extra ability to just go the distance. 3 for none. Not a bad play onto Jaculov, but he's just too tanky. The upgraded boots, the Mountain Assault, it gives you so much extra shield to cut through. Top Esports will get the Baron, and their play around objectives has just been better. Top Esports are the team that will set up an objective in advance in the LPL. I know it seems like a silly thing to say, but most teams in the LPL would rather walk into an objective than be on it in the first place. Top Esports, they're the ones which would rather do that. And I have to say, and I think it works out so much, he's on vision. He is on vision, and he flashes onto the double bot laners. And Hope is just immediately dead. That is unforgivable by Hope and Kyle. The bot diff is huge in this game. Jaculov and Hung have been so much better than Hope and Kyle. How's the gold lead now? About 6,000. Mountain Soul. Can Anyone's Legend survive through its an Elder Flip? What patch is this? This is 0.16. 0.16, Eric. 0.16. Well, congratulations to 1,000 Kites, who's correctly predicted that Top Esports was likely winning this game. Of course, not over yet. 3 items for Jackalove now. 10 stack Medjais for Cream. Ghost pop by Kyle to unlock his heal again. Yeah, shout out to Flandra. Flandra's doing his best on the Scion. It's not like you can do that much, though, in these kind of team fights. Top Esports are setting up an objective first, which means that anyone's legend can't play front to back that easily. I think that Shanks has been so poor in the second game too. The Shockwaves haven't been on bad targets. It's just he's fallen behind so much gold, and the Shockwaves have been backed up by a Rod of Ages instead of, you know, a Saracen to something a bit higher damage. 369, hang on a second, flashing forward, trying to catch out Aatrox. He has ult, he has flash, he has a lot of healing. The redemption's coming through, and he's getting a lot out of it. How much can he get? The Sunder Sky comes through. That's a lot used for just the Aatrox. The Renata roll goes into Narnia. The Lion, the Witcher, the audacity of this Renata, apparently. Completely missed the ultimate. Jackalove will get himself a triple. He'll maybe even get himself more than that. Can he get himself a quadra? They might just gift it over to him. Goes to the Akali instead. Top Esports clean the fight after way too much was used on the Aatrox, and the Renata ult goes wide. Kyle, poor game from him. We expect much better. Top Esports, a 2-0. And in our tour of top teams over the last week, Top Esports seemingly coming out the best of it from our top 4 teams. Losing to Invictus Gaming, but beating anyone's legend and BLG. You can make a strong argument for them being best team in the LPL right now. They're certainly top of the table. Time will only tell if that will stay the case. Top Esports will go to 10-2.